Launching its first server in 2011, DigitalOcean is an American cloud hosting company focused on helping developers launch more apps faster and easier. What started as a small startup company based out of New York City has grown exponentially, reaching a customer base totaling over 500,000 developers. The ultimate goal of DigitalOcean is to use a solid-state drive, or SSD, to create a user-friendly platform that will allow their wealth of clients to transfer projects to and from the cloud, ramping up production with speed and efficiency. But is it good enough to one day be ranked as one of my top 10 hosting services? Stay tuned and watch this video to find out. Now, I don't want to waste your time in this video. Let's just get straight into the info so you can decide whether or not DigitalOcean is the right web host for you. I'll start off with the pros of DigitalOcean, and later on in the video I'll discuss some of the cons. So the industry average uptime for a cloud hosting service is 99.94%. DigitalOcean blows that out of the water, pun intended, with a whopping 99.99%. That ties Bluehost as my most reliable hosting uptime to date. I cannot oversell how amazing that actually is. Most of my top 10 services come in between 99.96 and 99.98% of uptime. So to maintain an average of 99.99 is a great big deal. Now let's talk about speed, because the lagging or slow websites might as well be down for all intents and purposes. Sluggish sites are virtually unusable. Your traffic won't hesitate to just bounce and leave your website straight away. Literally, a difference of just a few seconds can cost you nearly 3/4 of your potential website traffic. DigitalOcean is not just fast, it is actually one of the fastest products I've ever reviewed. So the industry average load speed is 890 milliseconds, alright, 890. And at its fastest during my tests, DigitalOcean was moving at an incredible speed of just 218 milliseconds. Even at its slowest, it was 496. So even when performing at its slowest, it was still nearly 50% faster than the industry average, which is just absolutely insane. Next up, pricing. Something really unique about DigitalOcean is their customizable pricing. Even though I do also have this listed under my cons, you'll see this later on in the video, I think it's pretty awesome that you can actually customize everything you pay for. Your site storage, CPU usage, bandwidth, database, memory, etc. It's really a great advantage if you're an advanced user and already familiar with exactly what you need, what your goals are, what you don't need, and so forth. I'll talk a little bit more about this later on when I mention a few of the cons. When it comes to site backups, DigitalOcean performs backups daily, and you can always restore any data up to 7 days prior. Even though DigitalOcean has superior uptime, it's always better to be safe than sorry. And your data and traffic are always secured. This is something that many other hosts don't emphasize much or don't even provide. But DigitalOcean makes sure that your data is protected end to end. It's a great advantage to keep those ill-witted connections and viruses out of your site system. So that's about it for the pros of DigitalOcean, but as with everything, there are a few cons I found with it, so let's talk about those quickly. So most web hosting companies these days offer some variation of 24/7 support. It might not always be very good, but at least it is something. Now, unfortunately, DigitalOcean has nothing like that. If your website goes down in the middle of the night, which could be disastrous if you're dealing in overseas markets and things like that, there is no one for you to talk to. You have to go to their website and open a support ticket using their online form. Now that is a huge downside, especially for beginners. If you are looking for some fast help, then unfortunately you're not going to find that with DigitalOcean. And as I mentioned earlier, the customizable pricing could also be considered a con. Once you get into the pricing plans, your head will go dizzy with all of the options and possibilities which you can use and upgrade. There are different categories for bandwidth, space, servers, speed, CPU, security options, and a lot more. This, again, might be a little difficult for beginners. So, in conclusion, do I recommend DigitalOcean? Well, yes, as long as you are a developer and not a beginner. If you are just an average person looking to launch a web presence, or you're a complete beginner new to web hosting, there are far more user-friendly products out there that will cost you far less. I will have a link in the description down below for some web hosts that I'd recommend for a beginner, ones such as Bluehost or Hostgator. But for someone that knows their way around the tech world, there seems to be no faster or more highly performing product than DigitalOcean. And if uptime and speed are the most important factors for you, DigitalOcean is among the best choices on the market. So that is it for my DigitalOcean review. Thank you all so much for watching until this point. Please do not forget to check the description for links to DigitalOcean and some other hosts I would recommend for beginners. And if you enjoyed this video or found it helpful at all, I would really appreciate you liking this video and maybe consider subscribing as well. And with that said, I will catch you in the next video.